Hi Richard, welcome to part 2. I'm going to review the software from this PSP. This is a PSP 10,000 model number. It's the very first PSP in North America. Not the very first one, but the very first one in North America. As a correction. And this came out this year in North America. Actually, this is the revised version. The other version was Chrome and it was bigger and it's actually designed for this. This one's actually designed for the new PSP, but it works with this one, so I like it. I like it because it's really small and tiny, and really nice to use, and it's good quality if you have good lighting. Anyway, I'm going to review the games. So let's review the games, starting with Mercury Meltdown. Mercury Meltdown is made by Ignition Entertainment. Ignition Entertainment, the company. Mercury Meltdown is a very like Marble Madness, like you used to play for the NES, except you have a Mercury. Except you have a Mercury blob. And this Mercury, and it works a little differently, but it's kind of like Marble Madness. I like it because it did remind me of Marble Madness. It's kind of interesting in music. You input your name and everything else, and you get a tutorial on how to play the game. And you have test tubes that are like your levels. And you can actually record your game. You can record your gameplay on your level and it records onto your memory stick, like a replay. There's all the items you have to watch out for, like the air jet, the alternator, and the actuator, and electricity, and various other obstacles that you have to watch out for. Some will help you, some will hinder you. All depends on how it works. There's no real villain to have to worry about in this game, I believe. There's no real villain or boss that you have to really battle. You just have to battle through a lot of complicated obstacle courses. And there's a race that you have to win and everything else. It's got 2-player mode capabilities. You can play in 2-player mode on the Wi-Fi. It's got a versus. It's an interesting little game. It's really fun to play. It's got really funky, jazzy music. I like the music because I think it's interesting. Sometimes I just go to the option menu and listen to the music. It's really different. I have the box to it, and the UMD is in there in that bag. I just keep it outside of the box to save space. Next game is SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. Houston Bastida and John Cena on the front cover. It's rated teen. I believe I believe THQ is the one that publishes this game, and it's published by Jackson Pacific, same people that make Plug and Play for Atari and other things. Tells you the health precautions and the standard stuff. It tells you what buttons you need to press and use on your PSP. It tells you the moves you can make in the game, called the Irish Whip. Tells you how to do certain whips, like the Irish Whip, strong Irish Whip, other moves in wrestling that you have to do in the game, and what button combinations you have to press to execute them. And it tells you what to do about opponents and how to defend yourself, and tells you what weapons you can use and what rules that have to be obeyed, like in cage matches and Hell in a Cell and for Pillage Fantasy and all that stuff. It's got good wrestling content from when the show was popular in 2006. Still popular now. They changed the format now, I'm sure, but I liked it because it's like a beat 'em up, fight 'em up game. I think that I liked it because it was different. and I wanted something different so I can actually play something besides my car racing game. It tells you Possum, and it tells you the Wi-Fi features. All these games can go online, but none on this machine, as aforementioned in part 1. Really can't go online on this machine too much. Probably because there's something wrong with the card in that machine. It's getting old, but I'm still keeping because he's a warrior. I call him a warrior. Anyway, PSP, not the games. Here's another game. This is actually my first game that I bought with the system. It's called Need for Speed Own the City. It's made by EA Sports. It's a car racing game. It's like a tuner car racing game. Underground, you race at night, and you're able to drive around, race around town. Rivals look for you, or you can just race around town and just race around town. But you have to watch out for the cops, because the cops will get you at random on this game, and you have to ram them down to win the game. I might have to make this part 3 because I made this kind of long. Hate this. This is Own the City. It tells you how to own the city, what you had to do to own it. You're like a game. It's kind of like a thug game, but not quite the same thing. You tune your car up and get points. You play multiplayer. I don't do that, but as I said, because this PSP doesn't go online very easily, but it does have capability of doing so. If those on YouTube land have this game copy, you can go on multiplayer online. Most of these games are online. And the last is called Aperture. The Last Aperture. It's based on the hit TV show from Nickelodeon, when Nickelodeon was Nickelodeon. Made by THQ, the same people that make that wrestling game. And it's a interesting little, I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese, but I think it's Japanese. I don't know which. Hope please don't get offended, those people that are Japanese or Chinese. I don't know the difference. It's a nice little game though. It's a nice game if you want to learn about methodical monk type things. It tells you about the legend of the Aberrator and the Aberrator, and then tells you the story and what you're going to do. And it tells you the skills, items, journey, and items you must do in the manual. You can switch characters. You have to play 2 characters, I believe. I don't know, it's been a long time since I played this video game. It tells you status menu and crafting. You can buy stuff to upgrade yourself, to level up. It's not a beat 'em up, fight 'em up game. Basically, it's just a story that you have to progress like you would if you have the video game. Now this another one called. I'm trying to look for it. Here's another one. This is Atari Classic Evolved. This is UMD, what it looks like. The Classic Evolved has features of it's a multi-game disc. It features different games like Asteroids, Warlords, and I believe, and it features Asteroid Deluxe, Battlezone, Missile Command, and Centipede, and others. They all features modern renditions of each game that I just mentioned. A really neat little disc. If you like Atari, I love Atari. Hey, Classic Game Room, if you're listening, this is an excellent game. If you don't have it on your PSP, I like it. If you don't have this, get it. It's a good game. If you can find it. I don't know if you can find it these days. Games are pretty difficult to find nowadays. Especially ones that are popular and as awesome as this one is. Oh, the pitch is Pong. See, I told you, you get a modern, classic version of each game. It's really neat, especially on the PSP. It's really great. As you can see, I got the booklet for every single game that I have. I keep the books, even though I may not keep the boxes. I got the boxes up there. Just don't have them here. Well, I think I got room, time enough to display this one that I got for $19.99 at GameStop, brand new. It's made by Atari. This is another one made by Atari. The same people who make this one. Made by Atari. Called Ghostbusters. And I gotta get the manual. What the UMD looks like, of course. It features the voice of Bill Murray and other Ghostbuster characters. I don't know their names, I can't remember them. It plays like the movie, except it adds a little twist to it. You actually get to fight Gozer later on in this game, I believe. Or something like Gozer. It's a really short game, really easy for me. I beat it. That's the first game I ever beat, is this one. Everybody's gonna laugh at me. It's Ghostbusters, a video game. I have it on the DS. They're different. But this one is the best. I like it. For the PSP. Called Made by Atari. Well, I'm gonna go with part 3. And review more video games. So, I'll see you in a little bit.